Hey everyone, as you may know, I have been, this is actually my third try. I got a text when I was doing my movie, and then anyway, I'm not going to hop into that. What I'm going to hop right into is problems with the Pacific Ocean, starring me. Hello! But yes, this is not a laughing matter. I take it really seriously. Now, what do we have to worry about with the Pacific Ocean? Well, first of all, let me just tell you this. The entire world is in danger. Our whole natural world is in danger, but mainly the Pacific Ocean. Why? There's many reasons why. And I intend to show you most all of them in 20 minutes that are man-made anyway. But first we're going to start out with one that started out natural and now climate change from man has made it into an issue. We're talking about El Nino. You have heard of it? Well, if you haven't, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the warming of the oceans. Now, it's a natural process. We've been having it for as long as pretty much for a while, but it didn't really occur to people that it was something. I mean, it didn't really happen that much at all until the 90s. And in 1999, we had the worst one of the worst ones ever. This year, or not this year, because it's 2017, but 2015 to 2016's El Nino took the cake. Before that, 1998 to 99 had the worst El Nino. But after that, we had a really bad one in 2002, and 2007 also had a really bad one. So why are they bad? Well, do you like coral reefs? I'm assuming you answered yes, because they're so beautiful. I mean, I'd show you pictures, but that would require me to cut off the camera and show you other people's pictures, and I would probably get copyright sued because I have not actually been anywhere yet with coral reefs. The first place I'm traveling to, ironically, is on the other side of the world, and it's Papua New Guinea, and I'm going to travel there when I graduate from high school. So that's going to be in 2020. And then somebody, Instagram, asked me, people on Instagram DM me, they say, when do you think, or and then I asked somebody who is a scientific professional, I asked them, I was like, when do you think the Pacific Ocean's reefs will be completely obliterated, or will be so decimated that they're at the point of not even being worth looked at? And a lot of scientists think by 2050, I know that sounds like a long time from 2017, that coral reefs, almost all scientists are positive that coral reefs will be all gone then. There won't be a single one even left. But 2030, that's hardly any time from now. That's just not almost, that's actually a little less than 15 years. That's scary to think about now that I think about it that way, because I'm 15. There's about, let's see, Indonesia, Australia, Palau, Papua New Guinea. I was sure there was one other place. Philippines, did I already say that? Marshall Islands, that's what it was. So there's about 5 or 6 places in the Pacific that I want to visit. So I might be able to get there if I start traveling and I don't stop when I'm like 18 or 19. Because, anyway, point is, Um, by 2030, if you haven't traveled to the Pacific Ocean to see coral reefs, it's too late. They're dead. They're all dead. Most of them are dead. And the ones that aren't dead are in bad condition. By the way, 86% of the Great Barrier Reef is dead. Why? It's El Nino. El Nino has sped up so fast and has gotten so much worse. It's quite a shock, really. I mean, even in my lifetime, I've seen, you know, the environment change since 2004 when Planet Earth shot its first ever, BBC's Planet Earth. They shot the videos of shallow seas. And I remember seeing Raja Ampat National Park in Indonesia. That's one place I do want to go on my list. And I remember seeing all the fish, and they said even though the Great Barrier Reef is the biggest, for the most diverse coral reef, you must travel to the north in Indonesia. But they had David Attenborough narrating it, so he says Indonesia like Indonesia, but it's very funny. Anyway, what isn't funny is how people are ignoring climate change and saying it's not true, it's a hoax. Democrats have made it up, whatever they want to say to get away from the real truth, which is the truth is out there. Okay, now I'm going to be embarrassed that I did that, but I'm a huge fan of the X-Files. Anyway, so yeah, I hope I've talked enough about, hold on, it's always something, wanting you to update your phone, or, oh come on, I'm not going to update right now, I don't want to. Anyway, the La Nina has finally occurred at the end of 2016. In December, or in the very end of November and December, we had a La Nina. I guess you can guess what a La Nina is. That's when the water is cool. And some people ask, can the water be too cool for reefs? No, it can't be. It can actually bring some back to life, but don't get too excited. Your children aren't, if you're just now having children, odds are they're not going to be able to see coral reefs in the ocean in real life. Next subject we're moving on to is, well, I kind of already went over when the coral reefs are going to be not worth looking at anymore because they're so obliterated. That'll be around 2032 to 2034, scientists estimate. That's an estimate. If we can't get everyone in the world to change their mind, and they won't. That's never going to happen. Trust me. We just, the inauguration for America happened today. Sad to see Obama go because I voted for him twice. And Trump, he doesn't believe in climate change, which is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that it's not on his priorities to-do list. But, presidents don't control everything. Moving on, we got oil rigs. How are they a problem? Well, I'm not going to take too long on this because it doesn't need to take too long. If you're not an idiot, you should know why they're a big issue. They're oil rigs in the middle of the ocean. What happens in the middle of the ocean? In the middle of the ocean... Sorry, that was my nanny. In the middle of the ocean, storms occur. what else happens? Well, sometimes boats, those huge vessels with the 18-wheeler crates on the back of them lose control like one in 2010 did. I remember seeing footage from that. And, there cyclones, hurricanes, all kinds of stuff can happen. So it's not very hard for one to get knocked over by a huge wave, and sometimes they'll just fall, It's bad. And there's some in the Pacific, and when the oil leaks out, sometimes the fire will burn. I think it's awful what they're doing. I mean, why don't we just negotiate what we've been doing with Saudi Arabia, get oil from them? Because Donald Trump doesn't want to, he doesn't like Muslims. That's why. He doesn't want to give them more money. And I agree with trying to keep the economy going. I do think that's an issue, but I also think that we need to, definitely, a lot of the countries I want to go to are Muslim countries. Egypt, Indonesia, the Philippines. India is pretty much a Muslim country now because the people from Pakistan have just taken over. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's cultural. It's a cultural thing. Now, what else is bad? Well, you ever heard of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? Yes, you probably have. Have you ever heard of the 4 other ones? That's right, there are 4 other Great Pacific Garbage Patches. 2 near Japan now because of the tsunami, and I'll talk about Japan in a little bit. After this, actually. See if I'm on the right thing. Yeah, so the trash that gets thrown out, you can pretty much, in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, it's sad, you can find almost anything. I've seen pictures, you find everything from a dead corpse in a coffin to a fishing net. It just goes on and on. And sadly, that's in the currents. So, there's some off the coast way off the coast of Australia. Luckily, they're not too close to many islands where the reefs are, but they're in like deep sea. But the bad part is, even though there's a ship out there that's cleaning it up, it's going to take till like 2040 to get all that gunk out of the ocean. And that's pretty much when the coral reefs are going to be dying and dead. So that's really bad. And then finally we have Japan's problem. What is Japan's problem? Have you ever heard of Fukushima? Yeah, a lot of you probably have, if you're watching this. Well, I have one question for the dumbass who built it, or the dumbasses who built it. Why would you build a nuclear power plant on a place that has constant earthquakes? Answer me that. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to even think of an answer why you would build it on the east side instead of the west side. The west side has islands keeping the radiation, even like if an earthquake happened there. If there's an island on the north side, you know, the north side island in Japan would be blocking the radiation from coming out, and then the south would be blocked by the Korean islands lining up with Japan. So there's absolutely no excuse other than not using your brains that Fukushima is leaking into the Pacific Ocean. And I know that you can't control the weather and you don't know when a tsunami is going to happen, but I mean, still, if you wanted to build it close to Tokyo or something, put it up on a mountain and have something. I mean, come on. I'm only 15 and I'm coming up with better stuff than you. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. It's not even, it's beyond ridiculous. It's, if a 15-year-old could come up with this, and if you can do 1,000 times 352 squared and answer that question in like 5 seconds, and you can't build a nuclear power plant in the right place, there's absolutely no excuse for that. I mean, really. Yeah, I mean, come on, get your head in the game. And be strong. And you know what? You're not even in the top 10 most powerful nations. And now I can see why. I mean, you don't even know how to build a nuclear power plant. And the number one strongest... Oh, and this is... I'm going to rub this in just to make you mad. And the number one strongest... Right now, anyway, the strongest nation in the world is China. And I know you hate Chinese people if you're from Japan. The Japanese and Chinese hate each other a lot of the time. So, yeah, China is way better than you right now. I mean, not in terms of air quality, but in terms of making sure they build their buildings sufficiently. Yes, they're much better at that than you are. You don't even know how to build a nuclear power plant in the right area. So, we're the second best, but don't get me wrong, I'm not a patriotic American who has a, you know, gun, is so proud of it, and is like, oh, I'm American, I'm so proud to be American, yeah, we have freedom of speech again, because Donald Trump's president, and we're not going to have to deal with any Democrats trying to take away our guns. Yay, we're so good. No, that's not me at all. But that's probably everybody else in my family who's a conservative, like my step-grandpa and my great-grandma, except she's more like, I don't know if I should hold this. It's been a while. Man, I really good shot, actually. But I shouldn't make fun of my great-grandma. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my first ever documentary, and I hope it was as professional as it could be. I mean, that part was a little silly, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. We got 1 more minute to go. Oh, by the way, I never do this, kids. So, anyway, I hope if you ever see a cigarette on the beach, pick it up. If you ever see any trash on the beach, even if it isn't yours, pick it up. And a lot of the time it isn't yours. And I know you're probably going to say, well, why should we pick it up if it isn't yours? Just think about your kid's future every time that thought goes through your head. And if also, I wanted to make an announcement. This is not the last movie I'm ever making. There's going to be one more, and it's going to be me reacting to a bunch of different videos. Wide variety. From scary demon videos to sad, videos to fail videos to people reacting to other videos, and then that video of me reacting to that video of a person reacting to a video. Don't miss it. I don't know what I'm going to call it though yet. My last video is probably going to be called The Pacific in 2020 through the whole thing. Oh no, that was just, I forgot to put a, yeah, so that last, or my last thing was called The Pacific in 2020, Dead or Alive. Well, we will see in about 15 years, won't we? A little less, actually. Like, yeah, anyway. Watch my upcoming movie. It's not going to be as long as this one. It's going to be about 15 minutes, 9 to 15 minutes probably. Anyway. See you guys later. I hope you like it.